Hello again, everyone. Well, tonight we're doing a repair video on my Oldsmobile, and what it is, as you can guess by the title, is my heater core has seemed to have gone bad. I'm not 100% sure if it's a heater core yet or not, but what was happening was I noticed that I had a very slow but steady drop in coolant level in my overflow tank. Next thing I noticed was just a little bit ago, actually. Got off work and me and my girlfriend pulled into the gas station to get some gas, and we noticed some steam rising from up under the hood. And I knew that it seemed like I had a coolant leak somewhere, but I wasn't sure where. I was just trying to find out what it was, and sure enough, it smelled like coolant and the steam was rising. And I looked, and here, this hose right here was dripping down onto the exhaust manifold. And it never really clicked in my head, but the past few weeks I've been having this problem where I turn on the defrosters and it seemed like it would fog up the windshield. Well, when I was driving from the gas station after finding this, I decided to take my fingers on the windshield and wipe it and go like that with it, and it felt greasy, kind of. So I took a rag and wiped it, and it had like this goldish green tint to it, and here to find out, it was actually blowing antifreeze onto the inside of the windshield. So that's why my defroster was it appeared not to be working. But so I know that I have coolant getting into my ventilation system, and so with that being said, I'm kind of leaning towards it being the fitting that's broken that comes off the end of the heater core and not the hose itself, but it may be leaking there and pushing down into the system. But either way, I'm going to be removing this heater core to see if there's any damage to it or not. So anyways, the first thing I did was I just actually drained about 1.5 gallons of coolant out of this thing. Hopefully that'll be enough. But anyways, we did that, and so now what we're going to do is I actually have this Haynes manual here to kind of help. And I've never done a heater core in one of these cars before, so it'll be a learning experience for all of us. So anyways, what we're going to do here is all these arrows seem to be pointing at fasteners or things that we have to remove. Now, I will say this chrome trim, my car doesn't have that, so we don't have to worry about that. But you have to remove this weather strip and both wiper arms. And then after that, you have to remove the, looks like the screen over here. It's like a leaf screen. It's pointing at all the different fasteners. And also it looks like there's a bunch of fasteners here. It looks like for the cover, for the housing, and also this big hole here. That's where the blower motor goes. So we're going to have to be removing that as well. But it says to pull it out, the cover here, and then shows you removing it. Looks like there's a little ground strap or something that mounts to it you got to remove. So anyways, I'll be kind of going back and forth in between this manual and also the work that I'm doing. So just to give you an idea of how I'm going to do this video. But anyways, I'm going to pause this real quick and I'm going to grab a few tools. Okay, we're back again. Didn't really know how to remove these wiper arms until now. Can't really find it in my manual, but I removed the driver's side one, and passenger side should still be the same. But anyways, what you do is these are keyed, that they're splined and keyed, so you'll be able to know where they go. First thing you do is you kind of flip this out of the way, and it's important to have this out of the way. And then it's not really showing up on the camera, but this little tab on the side is you have to pry it out because it's kind of like a keeper to keep it from moving. So I'm going to go on the other side of the car. It's probably going to be easier to get to from there, maybe. I'm not sure. Or I might just reach down across the hood underneath that way. But I'll show you what I mean here. So what you have to do is pry this up while this is being held up, like that. Once that's up, you can remove this. I had to fight with the driver's side one a little bit, so just so you know, you might be in for a little bit of a fight. Okay, got it pulled up. So now I'm going to try and pull the wiper arm up. Try to do this all without getting in your way. There we go. Okay, so this one doesn't have a key. The driver's side one has a key in it, but this one doesn't. It just has splines. But anyways, I'm going to bring this over in front of the camera to show you. So basically what I was talking about, what you have to pry, is whenever you look at this, you'll see this little thing sticking up. Hold on, let me put it back into position. You'll just see that little tab right there. And what you have to do is you have to pull it up like that and then pull this tab out. See how it keeps it there? It hooks up underneath the right under the shoulder of the spline part, and that keeper is what holds it on. So you gotta remember to pull it up like that and have it all the way back, because see behind this piece here, whenever I pull it, see, you can see part of that keeper. So go ahead and do that and pull these off, and then right after you have them pulled off, just set them aside. I guess the passenger side would be a good idea to mark it where it goes. I was just assuming that it would have a key also, like the driver's side, but apparently it doesn't. So we're going to set these aside now, and we're going to move on to the next one. Once I get this driver's side off, actually what we're going to do right now is remove this weather stripping. So that's pretty straightforward, just pull it up. If your car's nice, be a little more gentle with it, but this is just my beater. I don't really care too much, so. Anyways, there's our weather stripping. I'm going to try and keep it the way it is, just so that it doesn't get molded out of shape. It's been that way for 30-some years, but okay. So now that we have that out of the way, looks like what we're going to be doing now, I'm going to have to look again at the manual, but I'm going to try and take you guys down to where this is. But you see that? That seems to be holding our screen on. There's probably multiple ones throughout here. But yeah, there's another one over there. Looks like another one there. So from what I understand, we got to take the screen off. So I'm gonna do that off camera, because this video is probably gonna be pretty long. So I'm just gonna do that off camera, and then I'll show you where the locations are. So I'm gonna pause this, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back again. As you can see, I have the leaf screen removed. It went from there over to here and wraps around partially this. And sorry about the lighting tonight, guys. It's a Cordial 3, so I'm trying to. So these are the screws that you will be removing. There, you need to remove 3, 4, 5. Looks like 7 of them. I just used a 9/32 socket. It seemed to fit well. Probably actually a metric one, but 9/32 does fit this. And my leaf screen, not sure how these cars go or whatever, but mine, there's 2 separate pieces to it. You have the main one that's on the bottom, and then this one fits like this. See this one? It fits right on top of it like that. So some of the, as you can see, some of the screws that you'll be removing pass through the first one and into the bottom one here. So there's 2 pieces to that, and once you remove this leaf screen, what we'll be doing next is there's trying to get you a shot of it. Okay, there's one right, this right here. This bolt, I think there's 3 of them along the top. Maybe, no, I'm sorry. Looks like there's one right here. Where did it go? I just saw it. Yeah, right there. Move down a little farther. One right there. Right there. And then one over here. So we'll remove those bolts, and I'll get you a shot of what it looks like from under here. Oops, sorry. But yeah, now you can clearly see the heads of those back there. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Remove those, and then I believe what we do then is remove all of these little guys. And we'll also have to be removing our blower motor too. So probably what I'm going to do is remove the blower, and then I'll remove those, because it'll probably make it a little easier instead of having this thing flop around or whatever the heck it does. But anyways, I'm going to set you guys back up so you can get a view of this being removed, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back again. And we're going to remove this blower. This is like a little tube that you just get that out of your way. There's 2 electrical connections here, this purple wire and this black one. Just pulls off. And this one looks like it has a little clip that you push in and then pull off. So we're going to pull these out of the way. Pretty easy to know which ones go where, because this one has this boot on it, and it has this male connection here, which the boot fits around. So it looks like all the fasteners here, this 1/4-inch socket fits, except for this one right here where we pulled that black wire off of. That one, the 9/32 fits. And how I'm keeping all these organized, I'm just using an old snuff can. So just to keep all the bolts organized to which ones that they go to. So we're going to start by removing this one. And it looks like all that black one was a ground. It looks like this tab might come with this. Yeah, see, it just attaches like that. So we're just going to put that whole thing in the can. Take care of these 1/4 inch ones. Now this should be, the blower motor removal should be the same for 77 and later cars. I think the earlier ones, I think you gotta like rip the fender off and everything else to get the blower motor out. So I think 77 and later they should be the same, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I think that was all of them. Yeah. So anyways, there's 1, 2, 3. There's going to be 5 1/4 inch headed screws that you take out, and the one that has the 9/32 that has the ground strap. So once you take those 6 fasteners out, just go ahead. Should just pull out, yeah, just like that. I just dropped a bunch of crap in there, but whatever. So there it is. There's the motor and the, some people call it the blower. I call it the squirrel cage, whatever. But that's how you remove that. I have torn these down before to because I've had an issue on my square body pickup truck. It would squeal, and you can actually remove this nut, and then I believe you just, on that one I believe that there's things that you can separate and then it pulls apart, but we're not going to get into that right now. So there's our blower motor. We're going to set that aside. And now what I'm going to do, I'm not sure what you're going to have to do if your car has air conditioning. I don't think it would have to be evacuated, but my car had air conditioning. It's been disabled. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. Looks like some type of a sensor or whatever. I'm not real sure. These seem to fit the 9/32 socket. I'm just going to remove the whole thing. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it could get in our way later, so it's just going to come out. Yeah, it seems to be some type of, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to take a guess either, so get that out of our way, put our screws back in. Seems to have something to do with the air conditioning system though, or perhaps heating system. I'm not really sure. We're going to keep that out of our way. Then there seems to be some type of little block down here with wires going into it. I'm going to remove that too. Anything to try and make my life a little easier with this. Just these 2 screws here. These also have the 9/32 heads on them. Pull that down. But now there's this connector on the end of this thing here. It's like one of them squeeze type ones. You squeeze these 2 and it kind of opens it. We're just going to get that out of our way too. Just then, I mean, I don't use the air conditioning system anymore, but it's in my way. So anyways, after you do that, it's time to remove our bolts back there and all these little screws, I think it's time for that. So I'm going to pause the camera again, get another snuff can to put those bolts in, and get a socket for those bolts back on the firewall. Okay, we're back again. And these back here, a 10mm socket fits on. Something I forgot to mention, but this leaf screen seemed to be held on by, I can't tell if someone had this off before and resealed it with Permatex, or it looks like it had some sealant from the factory here too. But that leaf screen was kind of sealed in, so I probably will clean this up and put some caulking or RTV down to reseal this. So there's one. I'm just going to set these over here for now. These aren't in here real tight, so I'm not going to put them back in real tight. I'm not really sure what they throw into. That should be the last of the big ones, 4 of those. Now it's time for all these little guys. I'm not sure how many they are or where exactly. Looks like we got a bunch of them down around here. Looks like there's one against here. Okay. Looks like there's one more that has the 10mm head. It's right down in between here. A little bit of a pain to get to that one, but not too bad. There's that one. So, should be 5. Looks like we got them all. There may be another one over there, I'm not sure yet, but we'll find out. So anyways, once you get those removed, we're going to do all these little ones. So I'm going to try and count them as I go. Looks like we're going to start with number 1 here. These look like they actually are the, these might be 1/4 inch actually. Yes, okay, so these little ones that are all around the outside of the top half of this case are 1/4 inch headed. might take a while, so. Okay, yeah, this is going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll tell you how many they are and where they are. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back again. Good thing I paused that. That ended up taking a while. But anyways, like I said, just recapping, we had these 4 large bolts that went up here, and then there was a 5th one down in this corner. And then along this bottom lip of this, there should be, I believe, 4 of them total. And if you're counting from this over, the 4th one will be right back here. It's kind of a pain to get to. But there should be 4 little ones, and then there should be 5 little ones on top. So once you have those removed, it's time to start separating these. And I think someone had a problem with water getting into the ventilation, or the air duct in this car, because it seems like someone took a bunch of RTV in between these and smeared it. It doesn't look like it was done at the factory, but this thing was glued on there, and actually cracked it right here and right back there, but I'm not too worried about that. It's minor. So anyways, once you have that all taken care of, it's time to separate it, and then it should, for the most part, just lift off. I just separated this, so I'm going to be trying to mess with it here. Not sure how I'm going to get around this air conditioning piece here, but we'll get it one way or another. I wanted to have this part on video because this seems like it's going to be a bit of a trick to get this out. I think I just broke something, but we're going to keep going. Okay, so it's mostly out. This thing is what's going to screw you over the most. Okay, there's our cover. See, 4 go up here, and then the 5th one's in this corner. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is the one I said I broke off, but it's actually supposed to be like that, so that should be 5. So once you have them off, go ahead and pop it off. And I'm actually going to clean this all out before I put it back on. But now we can look. I'm going to actually take you guys off your little stand. I'm going to show you what's going on back here. This will also let me turn the other light on. Okay, so that light does not want to cooperate. Okay, so here's our heater core right here. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of coolant puddled all over the top of it. Let's try and get you guys a good shot. Let me try and get the... There we go. So anyways, it seemed like it was leaking out of this one. And as you can see, it's leaking all over up here. And yeah, it's, as you can see the fitting going into it. See it wiggling? This one is also loose. I may be able to resolder this. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try it. And if that doesn't work, I'll buy a new one. But yeah, both of these fittings are loose. And there's probably, I can't really see down in there, but looks like it's wet down in the bottom of there. So yeah, we found our where all the coolant was coming from on the inside of the windshield there. So anyways, I'm going to set you guys back up on the stand, and then I'm going to remove these 2 hoses, and then I think there's this bolt that holds this grounding strap on, and I think that's it. So I'm going to set you guys up and we'll finish removing this. A little bit dry. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove those two hoses. Might get some coolant out of there, might not. I'm just going to break them loose and see. Sorry if I'm in your way, but this one that's nearest towards the fender, this one goes to the water pump. The one that's towards the driver's side, this one goes to your control valve on the back of your engine. I don't even know if I've ever even had these hoses off before. Okay, so we don't get any coolant out of there. So we're just going to tuck it up under the air cleaner, get it out of the way. Or not. Okay, got a little bit of coolant out of that one, but not much. So we'll just try and tuck that under there. I'm going to remove, there's this little, it's like a little pad almost. I think it's supposed to help dampen any vibrations. I'm just going to set that aside just so I don't lose it. And then there's this bolt that I mentioned earlier. Screw, whatever you call it. Looks like it also is that 9/32. I'm not positive. Oh, where's that socket? No, it's actually a quarter. Yeah, it's a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to show you what how it's holding it in here. Okay, so here's our grounding strap. It goes all the way over onto the mount for the wiper arms, the wiper arm motor. But anyways, you can see this is like a two-pronged thing, and it fits in between these two there, and it pulls it back. So that's what holds that on. Let's remove that. And there's our heater core. So I'm going to bring this in a little closer. So there's our heater core. You just grab it and lift it out. And as you've seen, both of our fittings are pretty loose in there. So anyways, that's how you remove the heater core out of one of these cars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the coolant out of this, clean it up, and then I'm going to go get a shower and get ready for bed because it's like 3 in the morning now. So I'm going to clean this up, and tomorrow I'm going to try and see if I can solder this again. If I can't, I'm not sure how much a replacement is. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm going to look up and see how much a replacement costs first. because if it's not much money, I'm probably not even going to bother with this. But oh well, you'll have that. So anyways, that'll be it for this part of the video. Part 2 will be the installation of the heater core, and I'll try and cover some more that I didn't cover tonight, like the where all the bolt locations are exactly, and that video will probably be a little more in depth as far as that. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped anybody that had a problem.